Good morning, Diva Name.
Good morning.
It's so nice to have you here with me. Diva, you are the owner of La Mexicana Taco Bar in Fort Lauderdale. You are also my novel sister. We are in the National Association of
Yes, we
Women
are.
Business Owners South Florida together. And I'm so excited to talk to you. We've had one conversation before. We talked a bit about your business, but
Mhm.
we talked a bit about communications, and so we're going to get into that a bit more. Leaders Talk Communications is all about how you as a leader are managing communications at your for your business, with your employees, with your customers, with
Yeah.
all of the key stakeholders that you have to engage with, and how you manage that. And I have these conversations so leaders can learn from other leaders. And I don't know that I've ever talked to anyone in food and beverage, so you're the first. So
That's
yay!
awesome. Okay. Thank you.
So
Thank you very
welcome,
much.
Diva. Yeah, thank
Thank
you
you.
so much for being here. Um, I will just get started then. So tell me about your business, Diva, and what inspires you the most about what you're doing at La Mexicana Taco Bar?
Okay, perfect. So first of all, thank you very much. I feel honored to be here. And yeah, so I'm the owner of La Mexicana Taco Bar. We are a local Mexican restaurant located exactly in Wilson Manors. We're being in business. This is our 11th year, so we're
Oh,
excited.
that's
Um,
awesome.
what inspires me
Wilton
is
Manors,
really
Florida, by the way.
Yeah, Guatemala, Florida. And really what inspires me is hospitality. I love people. I love hospitality. I feel honored that people come to our restaurant just to have these celebrations, birthdays, weddings, you name it. And not just that, but people also comes to us when they're having a bad day. So how important
Mm,
is the job that we do because we can really create an impact without knowing it, right? And not just that, but Florida is a state that depends on, hospitality. So I feel that the job that we do is so important to keep our economy moving. And as well, one of the things that inspires me the most is that it is never the same. It's always changing, it's
mm.
always moving, and I love to learn,
The business is always changing, always moving. What's something that's
always.
changed recently
Well, definitely the
for you?
economy. Definitely the
Mm,
economy has been changing, so we face new challenges, which for me, I think it's okay. I like challenges and I like to grow from adversity and from issues that they may happening. There is always opportunities. So as a team, we're being adjusting, and I'm just not talking about prices, but uh, now before we were focused more in the individual. Now we're focused more in the groups. We know families, they're coming to the
uh,
restaurant and they're trying to find good deals for still good food, right? So
yeah.
we've been just looking into that, reevaluating how we connect with people, how we get our
Mhm.
message outside that, we understand, we know what's going on, and, we're here for everybody.
I love that. So you're finding ways to connect more with people. And I love that you said not just price, that you understand that you've got to connect with your customers
Yeah.
in a deeper way. Like the fact that you know that people come to your restaurant and they're maybe having a bad day says a lot about the kind of owner that you are, that you even have that kind of information and that you're empathetic enough to see that in your customers. Um, Tell me about the different stakeholders that you have to engage with, that you have to communicate with as the owner of La Mexicana, and where you feel you thrive in communicating with them.
Well, definitely, we have different audiences, and I feel as a restaurant, as I mentioned, community is very important. If I look back 11 years ago, it was just about waiting for a customer to walk in, right, and just
Mm,
try our food, try our drinks. Not really anymore. I feel that a restaurant shouldn't be depending just in the walk-ins, but you should engage with your community. And I always tell my team, don't always wait for people to give you and give you and give you. What are you giving and what are you adding, to their lives? And that goes not just again for customers, for community in general. We try to be part of a community event. We just, went to Pride, and we made we connected with a local business in Wilton Manor, and I felt honored that they were inviting us to be over there. And I think
Yeah.
that's all about, you learn so much about that business too. You connect with that business owner. We're being still in communication, exchanging ideas about people is not drinking that much alcohol nowadays. How about the mocktails? What are we doing? So, and that's the beauty of
That
it.
that that's actually true that people aren't drinking
Yep,
as much alcohol, and so you've had to
100%.
respond to that in your business.
Yeah.
How do you engage with folks, and how do you stay connected with people in your community? Are you part of like a chamber? Are you like how do you
Yeah.
keep your finger on the pulse of what's happening outside of your restaurant so that you can impact people when they come into your restaurant?
Oh, I feel that 100% is very important to know what's going on around you or your community. So chambers of commerce for me, they're being key. So I'm part of the For the
Mm,
Chamber of Commerce, and I'm also part of the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. So
ah,
both are
uh-huh.
amazing. The For has been around for a long time, so
Yes, it has.
it's a bigger chamber. And sticking to a leads group, going to council meetings and know what's going on. I not all the time I'm connected just to hospitality. I like to know what's going on in general because it gives me a better understanding and how can we act or how can we prepare in advance, because I feel that that's also so important. We can't just wait and react. We need to
Yeah.
prepare and we need to be ahead of things that they may happen.
Right. So you're part of these organizations and they help you sort of keep your finger on the pulse of what's happening in the community. So you've got your customers as an audience as well. You've got your
Mhm.
employees as an audience. You said earlier that, you say to your team, like, don't wait for people to give to you, like think
Yep.
about what you can give to them. I'm
Mhm.
curious how you embed those sort of values into your employees, how you ensure that they're actually living out this and creating the kind of culture in your restaurant that you want.
Mhm. I think that you mentioned it, culture. Culture is extremely important. Um, and if I'm completely transparent, it hasn't been difficult because I feel that our team already comes with that culture. So it's
Mm,
very important to see that before you're hiring. You need to hire. I always said I have to hire because of personality. And
yeah,
it's not because, you are the best at cleaning or, trying to oversell people, but how you are as a person and how you communicate with a person for me is really important. First,
yeah,
because we stay together so many hours. So, I'm always sharing with them, sharing with the team. And I feel it has to also do, it's connected to our Hispanic culture. Everybody that
mm,
works at my restaurant is Latino. We had people like Americans in general, but it's been funny because they're Americans that they have adopt, the Latin culture, and they're excited about learning Spanish. So it's been awesome. Uh, but yeah, I feel that we Latinos, we come with that warmth in our heart, and we understand uh people that they may going through certain things and know how to handle certain situation and have that critical thinking that is just so
yeah.
important, not just hospitality, but everywhere.
So as a leader, you make sure that you are hiring the right people from the beginning,
Hmm.
and that I'm curious how you. I don't want. I want to. I'm going to come back to to some of the
Yeah,
questions, but I'm curious how you in the hiring process, because this is important for leaders for business
yeah.
owners to know as well. Like in the hiring process, are there certain questions that you're asking? Are there? Is there certain what are you looking for? And you don't have to say everything, but I'm just curious, like how do you ensure that you are hiring the right people, and how is that codified, if you will, in your interview process?
Well, I like to ask about hobbies, about what they do in their personal lives. Something that I noticed that most of my team have in common is that they all are living a healthy style. So they're all exercise.
Interesting. Uh-huh.
And it just happened, but I noticed that every time that I have somebody coming to our team that it was not following kind of those habits, then um it was not a good fit for the team, like in general, because
Interesting.
I feel
Mhm.
that they every time that they're talking among themselves, they're talking about the gym. And then we have a server that she's starting her business selling butters like peanut butter and pistachio butter. So they're talking about healthy food. And our chef, she loves food, of course, and they're always like sharing the stuff. So it's important to see that they kind of have things in common because you want your
Yeah,
team to feel close to each other. And it's not just
yeah,
to feel close, like let's go after hours when we finish and let's go drinking. It's a balance,
right,
I'm not saying that they don't do it, but
right.
I feel that that is being key. And always what I do is that I tell people, hey, you can show me the best resume, you can answer all the questions correctly, but just come for a day and just try it out. And during
Mm,
that day, we're gonna see,
yeah.
how you
When
manage
you
and
say
what we
try
like.
it out, you have them actually come and, like, work in the restaurant or just
Yeah,
come as
they
a
come,
customer?
they come, they work. I like to put them to work in a busy day, like a Taco Tuesday, and see how
Ah,
they feel under pressure, and especially how they are helping, the person that is maybe training them, or how, they're looking to help to certain tasks, like, I'm gonna pick up these, I'm gonna make this favor to, one of my fellow coworkers, because it's
yeah,
that kind of like team um, attitude that I'm looking in a person.
okay. And are you paying them for that day that they come?
Yes, 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 we do. Yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
training is like 7 days, so that's that
Yeah.
would be like their first day.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a training period,
Hmm.
and is it sort of like it's like a temporary period where you're
Yeah.
observing them and making sure they're a good fit. So that's great.
Yes.
So you're
Mm.
interviewing to determine fit for culture, and you're giving them this 1 week of training to ensure to see what kind of employee they actually are in the real
Mhm.
world. That's great. Okay, so tell me about, let's switch to communications challenges.
Mhm.
What's the number one communications challenge that you faced as a business owner, as a leader, and how did you handle it?
Well, I feel that I'm handling still. I feel that there is not, a correct answer to these because communication, it may look different too. But
Yeah.
what we're working right now into is how can we communicate um, a feeling? How can we communicate who we really are and why? What is our why and why people should choose us? It's not just about
Mhm.
showing a beautiful drink, the perfect margarita with the perfect tahini rim, but
Yeah.
um, what is the feeling when you come to us? We are a very laid back place. I want people to come and feel relaxed. I don't want people to come and be rushed. So it's
Yeah.
definitely a big challenge to put that out there because
Mhm.
my inner voice is always like, oh, but you should tell them that, the margarita is $6 on Mondays and that you have this happy hour coming up. But it's just like, as a consumer, when I see another restaurant, I get tired of just giving me a price, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. I'm still navigating that and,
Yeah.
try, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But, at the end of the day, trying to show ourselves authentic, I guess.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
then working more into our organic way of,
Right.
yeah, showing our day to day.
I mean, you talked at the beginning of the interview about what you want people to about the sense that you have of what people are experiencing when they come into your restaurant. Like, when they're having a bad day, that people are coming there to celebrate. You want people to have to come in and feel comfortable and laid back and enjoy like the laid back vibe of the restaurant. And I think finding ways uh, to communicate that could be using the voices of the people who are coming in, you know,
Mhm.
um,
Mhm.
interviewing your staff members and using their voices as well about how they interact with your customers and what they want them to feel when they come in, letting them tell stories about interactions
Mhm.
they've had with customers. Yeah, there's so many opportunities to like share the culture, and then then you can use the creative like Monday $6 margaritas on Monday, like come in and experience this great
Yeah.
culture, but it
Mhm.
becomes secondary to
Yep.
the anyway, that's a little bit of consulting advice from Jennifer.
No, thank you. Thank you. And no, you're 100% right. You're 100% right because that's what I'm looking for. I go to a
Yeah,
place that, what, the owner, she's been through these, she started, she did that, I'll go there. I even
yeah,
even when
yeah.
it's so funny because even so I love this is side note, I love arepas. And every time that I go to a supermarket and I'm gonna buy an arepa, I like to read the back, right? Of,
Yeah,
not the ingredients, but I like to see, who's the owner, where he's coming
the
from. And
story,
I've been,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, and I've been buying these arepas because it's women's own and it's, a
Mm,
Venezuelan women that, she started and then she went to Shark Tank and you get involved with it. So if
yeah.
if
Oh,
if they don't
wow.
have these arepas, I don't buy them. I look for them in Publix, Whole Foods, everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Mhm.
you know what? If that attracts you, I love that too. I'm a big
Yeah.
foodie and I love knowing the stories of restaurants. Like I love
Mhm.
knowing the why. I love knowing that they got recipes from their grandma and that they're
Mhm.
putting love because food is love to me, And so when you're
Yes.
putting love into your food, I want to know the story behind what inspires you to put that love into your food. That's great.
Mhm.
So, what has been the most successful vehicle that you've used that's helped you to communicate most effectively with people who are important to your business? What is the secret sort of diva sauce you think that allows you to connect with people? And what's been most effective for you?
I would say the most effective for us definitely is being, well, communications through social media. They're key for us, especially Instagram.
I
Um,
wanna excuse me. I ask this question of leaders all the time, and they always go to the we. I wanna know about Diva. I wanna know
okay.
where you excel as a leader in communicating with your team. Like, what is it? And I think it's challenging for people to talk about themselves
Hmm.
sometimes, but there is magic. I can feel it oozing through the screen in Diva.
Hmm.
And what is that thing you think that you have that allows you to communicate effectively with people, with your
I feel
staff,
honest.
with people at the
I feel
chamber?
I feel honesty. I feel that knowing that vulnerability is a good thing and it doesn't have to be bad, and
Mhm.
letting people know that you don't have it all figured out because you're a business
Mm.
owner and because you're being 11 years in the business, it doesn't mean that you're still super successful or that you are, in the peak of your career or your business. We
Yeah,
face different challenge. I face different challenge, and I'm learning every day and I
yeah.
care about learning. I'm right now I'm in two different like mentorships. I'm starting my catering business, and
Mm.
I sign up to everything that it will add value to my knowledge in general. But I also can sit down with my team and tell them, hey, you know what? We have a very bad week. Sales that were not
Mhm.
looking good. We need to make some cuts. And I really need you to do your best because we need to sell X amount.
Yeah,
And I feel that when you have the confidence to talk with your team that way, they understand and they feel part of the process, and they should because
yeah,
they are the process. They are the face of the restaurant. They are the
yeah,
people that interacts every day with our customers. So
yeah.
you
And
need to
when
be
you do that,
honest.
they may have great ideas that can help
Mm.
resolve some issues. But if you never share them, they wouldn't be able to do that. So you do that. You create that team
Yes.
environment even. And I love that. So where you feel like the most effective thing that works for you is your honesty and being vulnerable and being sounds like you communicate you have regular team meetings and you communicate openly with your team.
Yeah, and more than regular meetings, it's just having a spaces to just sit down and talk. Hey, it's a slow
Mhm.
day. Hey, what do you think about this? And then, we talk about life and getting involved with um, how's your life, how's your
Yeah.
family? Do you live here alone? Are you facing certain
Mhm.
challenges? Because they're being there for me, not just for work. They're be there for
Right.
me every time that I have need something. So it's important
Yeah.
also to get involved, in their life and what's going on. And yes, you should not bring issues to work, but the reality is another one. You're always bringing your problems with you. So we need to be
Yeah.
aware of that and giving
We're
them also,
humans.
yes, and also giving them that confidence that, hey, you're having a bad day, just tell me. You don't want to take care of tables, maybe you can just pick up the dishes, but just let me know.
Ah.
And
Mhm.
sometimes it works and sometimes no, because at the end, people want to go to the restaurant and make money. Servers want to make tip. So not
Yeah.
all the time they're gonna be honest with you, but you know, be talking with them and repeating this and know and letting them know that that's an option, it makes a difference.
Mhm, that it's an option. That's great.
Mhm,
Yeah, sometimes it can be challenging for, especially newer business owners to figure out how to draw about how to keep the boundaries, how to be open and receptive and empathetic and honest and vulnerable, but also I'm still owning a business here. I'm still running a business
mhm.
here.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a fine line.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. So my last question that I love to ask leaders is
Mhm.
always, if you could wave a magic wand, what would you want the world to understand most deeply about you or the purpose behind what you're trying to do with La Mexicana? You can take either one.
I said that um, help somebody, help because it's gonna come back to you. I am here today because I had so much help from strangers, from people that I never
Mm.
imagined. I'm originally from Colombia, Barranquilla. My family lives
Mm.
there. I'm just here with my mom, and since I arrived to Florida and I started my business, my English, it was not even that good. And my landlord took me by hand literally to the city of Walter, introduced me everybody and talked to me about business and how
Wow.
relationship and connection they were so important. I remember that I did not have enough to pay my rent, and he told me, "I'm gonna come every Wednesday because Tuesday is a good day for you, and then you're gonna be give me a part." And he separated that, 4 times during the month, so it makes it easy for me. And he told me how
Mm.
to organize my business, money, and so on. I can mention so many examples. My sisters in Nabo now, they're being wonderful to me,
Ah.
just giving me insights of their business and how they being successful and also sharing they're not so good in business. So that for
Right.
me is what I take. And wherever I go, I always like people to understand that I'm not trying to sell you food because you know that I have food. I'm not trying to sell you margaritas because you know I have the margaritas. But how can I help
Yeah.
you and how can I add value to you is important. And tell me,
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
feel that one of the mistakes that we made as owners or of people is that we think people knows and people understand. We assume.
Mhm.
Don't assume. I always tell me, what do you need from me? You need me to connect you with people that does X, Y, and Z. I may know them. They may be my friends, so I can connect you with them. I can help. But
Yeah.
yeah, just trying to help, just trying to do that extra thing all the time that it doesn't cost you anything. It's not gonna hurt you. And at
Yeah.
the end, it will return to you hundreds
It'll
of
come back
times.
hundredfold. Yep, yep, I agree.
Mhm.
Thank you so much for your time, Diva. Stay with me after I end the live stream. But I
Mhm.
appreciate you being here and We are both headed to the Nabo retreat this afternoon. I'm
Yes,
looking
I'm
forward to seeing
excited.
you. Me too. I'm looking forward to seeing you throughout the weekend. Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate your time today.
Thanks to you. Bye.
Bye bye.